All right, so welcome to today's episode of UndocuStartup Weekly, where I share the biggest lessons that I've been learning building the #1 entrepreneurship program for undocumented students. If you're an undocumented student liaison and you're struggling to help your undocumented students become entrepreneurs, please visit www.undocustartup.com. Again, that is www.undocuStartup.com. Book a free meeting with me, and I want to see if we can collaborate to help your students become entrepreneurs.
Welcome to UndocuStartup by Juan Maya Hernandez.
Now, one of the events that we just completed was called the UndocuStartup Week. And if you're new here, the UndocuStartup Week was just a 7-day free entrepreneurship program designed to help students in every state in the U.S. start a business, right? We did receive over 55 applicants, which was pretty successful given that we only marketed over 1 month. And we had done a variation of this last year. It was called the UndocuStartup Tour, where we did different programs at different states virtually in one Saturday and one day. But this year we wanted to test it out, see how it's going to work out in a week. So in today's episode, I want to share with you what I learned from doing that behind the scenes. All right. And the most important thing of UndocuStartup Week is that the mission is the same, right? To make this more accessible to more undocumented students. So like that, when they graduate, they know what to do, or they have a pathway to build a career legally with their degree and with their skills. All right. Let's jump right into it. Lesson number 1. It is that the program doesn't end with the sessions end, right? My follow-up at the end was not the best, right? Certificates, tracking who completed what, because I have them do assignments throughout the program that are going to show me that they're doing stuff for their business. And what I realistically need at this point is I just need templates for this week, right? It was my first time doing a program in just a single week, a session every single day, and it was a lot for me to handle. So the biggest takeaway here is that I shouldn't really rely on memory. I should have a written task list, like how I do with my paid programs. I put it on Trello and I gotta do this, this, and this. Then once everything is completed, then the program is completed. I didn't do that this time, right? And it led to me falling behind on certain tasks. It led to me to some students reached out to me, hey, I haven't received my certificate, and unfortunately, that's just on me. Lesson number 2 is that I could actually run this more often if I systemize it, right? I could realistically market to any student that lives in any of the other states outside of California. This makes it more accessible. And there's also an opportunity for me to do this recurring, right? Whether we're going to do it 1 time a year or 2 times a year. But I do need a system, right? Again, like I mentioned in lesson number 1, I need to have a way to accept applications. I need to have a way to onboard them. I need to have reminders. I need to have delivery. All these different things that I can systemize are going to make it easier to do cohort number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. And that's going to help me not only scale this, but it's also going to help me improve it, right? And the beauty about me doing these programs is that they're all the same. They're all very similar. So I get to improve regardless, but this is going to make it more efficient moving forward. All right. Lesson number 3 is that 1 month of marketing generated 55 applications. I only gave myself a month. My goal was to get 100 applications. We received half of that with 1 month. I didn't have a sophisticated marketing campaign, to be honest. I just reached out to people that I've talked to in the past, tell them to share with the students. And what I'm thinking now is, like, if we were to do this every single year, we could have 2 to 3 months of intentional marketing, and maybe we get triple or quadruple or maybe 10x the amount of applications, and that's going to make it easier. So I'm already just thinking of, like, how can I market this better? If you guys have any ideas, definitely comment them down below. But minimum 55 applications, right? And that's without a lot of marketing, which is interesting. I didn't do as much marketing like last year, but we did receive. Okay. Lesson number 4 is that I have to be more selective about who gets accepted, right? Filling in the seats was great. I think I did that last year. I did that with this first cohort of the UndocuStartup Week, but I realized that some students just don't complete the program, right? And I asked myself, like, what went wrong? And I realized that some students are just there to learn, but if I really want to grow the quality of the program, grow the quality of the network, I need to accept students that are ready, that are actually decided, like, hey, I want to do this. So what I'm thinking about right now is, like, maybe I should consider interviews. Maybe I should consider submit a video answering a question. Those are some things that I already do when I apply for other programs. just to see who's actually committed, right? So if I interview people, maybe I accept a few people, I interview them, but it takes more time, right? Whereas if I do a video, they submit a video answering a question, I might spend some time to look at the video and see. Well, it's kind of hard to gauge their commitment level, but I feel like if I become, let's say I get 200 applicants, and out of those 200 applicants, I only accept 20 people that I think are the best, I think that would be a much better cohort. I'm still thinking about how this is gonna work out, but again, I'm not gonna blame any student. I'm not gonna blame anybody. I just would need to be better at accepting the people that are really serious about starting a business, right? So I think my next goal with the next cohort that I do end up doing is let's just find the best founders, the people that are actually going to be committed, and those that are not committed, I'm going to try to not focus too much on them. Not to say that we won't have stuff for them, but there might be something else that I can provide without it being a full week for those students. Okay. Lesson number 5 is that doing everything in 1 week was a lot. All right. The 1 week concept initially sounds good because I'm only spending about an hour and a half per session, but it was a lot. It was a lot because I still needed to practice every single day. It was a lot because I still needed to send follow-up emails. That's why I say I need to have a template. I need to have a system that can sort of handle all of the logistics. But the biggest takeaway here is that if I continue to do this and I am and it relies on me, we might get into hardships, right? We might run into problems. So what I'm already thinking about is how can I create scripts that I can have people run certain sessions for me? How can I have onboarding stuff so I can have somebody else? Maybe somebody does a marketing session or somebody does a pitch session, right? Based on all the content. And that's why I think it's important for me to record every session. So like that, I can improve on it. I can create scripts. I can train someone else. And then like that, it won't just be me doing these things. We'll do it every year. All right, lesson number 6 is that I got 0 sponsors. So this either means that I should build a better sponsorship strategy or I should stop trying to monetize this particular program directly. Maybe the program is meant to be free every single year. And maybe it's a way for me to start those conversations with certain colleges and universities that I haven't done before. Again, it's a risk that I'm willing to take. And let's say, even if we do free programs, there's no guarantee that we're going to land another contract in the future, but it's something that I can start testing in the next cohort. So either I make it free or I actually build a actual sponsorship strategy to get people through the door, right? But not everything has to be for profit, right? And I mentioned this in a previous episode, right? Like students tell me, why do you do this if you're not getting paid? Well, I'm doing this because, well, for one, I get to connect with amazing founders, and two, I get to practice. And imagine this is where I'm at without doing like 30 programs. Imagine when I do 100 programs, the level of information I'll have to make it better, and to see what actual resources and tools students have. So that's also why I do it. And if it leads to a contract, that'd be great as well. Right. Lesson number 7 is that people were already sharing this opportunity without me asking. I saw some people share it on social media. I saw some people share it via word of mouth. I think that's where we received a lot of applicants. I could do a better way. I could be better at tracking where are people coming from, maybe including that in the next application. How do you hear about this opportunity? And that would give me an information on like the marketing channel, how I can continue doing this. But I do believe a lot of these things came from word of mouth. A lot of students really enjoyed it as well. But the biggest thing here is that the brand is becoming a little bit more out there. People are recognizing UndocuStartup. I see some people including us in their resources list, and it makes me happy because it's like, it's something that I've been working on since 2021. It wasn't until 2023 somebody gave me an opportunity to run a program, and then now we've kind of doubled down into the boot camp and what we're trying to build. So as long as I can continue sharing stories, as long as I continue doing this more, I believe there's gonna be more people within the mission, more people that are gonna want to support. But distribution is becoming something bigger that I want to continue amplifying moving forward. So that's good to know. And then the last lesson is that future cohorts could have themes, right? I did see a few companies that were within a similar theme. So for example, I did see 2 founders starting marketing companies or something similar. And then I did have like tech enabled businesses. Then I had somebody that had like a service. So what I'm already thinking about is maybe we could have themes, like maybe we do independent contracting team, maybe we do service business team, maybe we do an AI driven theme, right? And that might make it easier to market, right? It might make it easier to market, but it would also make it easier to grow within the network in the cohort, right? If there's 10, 20 people that are building within marketing, you have 10, 20 people, and that could lead to more opportunities, right? Either they work together or maybe they start to work a cooperative. And I'm already just thinking about how can we make themes in the future. And it brings me back to like when I was a student at UCLA, I was part of UCLA Ideas 540 project. They are a organization on campus that would do events. And I remember we did a conference, and in that conference we had to plan out different things, and every single time we planned out events, we needed to have a theme. So I'm already thinking about if we are going to do cohorts 1 to maybe cohorts 100, right? Imagine we do until you start a week cohort number 100. How can we showcase the founders, but how can we also build a bigger network? And that's what I'm already sort of thinking. So those are all the lessons, so let me just go over them. So lesson number 1 is that the program doesn't have to end when sessions end. Lesson number 2 is I could run this more often if I systemize it. So building systems. Lesson number 3 is 1 month of marketing generated 55 applications. Maybe give it more time with marketing. 4 is be more selective about who gets accepted. 5 is doing everything in 1 week was a lot. 6 is I got 0 sponsors. So either make it free or have a real strategy behind that. Number 7 is people were sharing it without me asking. So distribution is building. Number 8 is that future cohorts could have different themes, which is good. But overall, I think what I've learned is that this was a good prototype, and now it's about how can we make this better? How can you make it recurring? How can we, continue to follow up with the founders after, so we can continue building the number one structure for undocu entrepreneurship. That's always been the goal. So how can I make it better, right? And that's really what I'm looking at. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Hopefully you find a nugget or two, and if you did, go ahead and share this. Give it a rating. We're trying to get to 1,000 ratings here on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Give it a little star, and remember to be motivated and stay motivated. And remember that entrepreneurship has no limits. It has no limits. Sin límites, okay? Sin límites. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Take care.